If you've ever kept an aquarium, you know the feeling, right? That constant, sometimes frustrating battle to keep your tank stable and your fish happy and healthy. Well, in this explainer, we are going to dive deep into the hidden reason why that happens, and we'll explore a biological solution that works with your tank, not against it. Let's get into it.
All right, section 1, the constant aquarium struggle. And it really is a struggle. It's something pretty much every hobbyist goes through. You put in all this time and care, but something always seems just a little off.
So, just ask yourself, does it sometimes feel like you're fighting a losing battle? Like you're always one step behind, just reacting to whatever the next problem is that pops up? I mean, does any of this sound familiar? You wake up one morning and bam, there's a sudden ammonia spike. Your fish look stressed out, maybe they're getting sick. You're constantly scraping away algae, and it feels like you're just trapped in this endless loop of water changes. If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. And these problems, they tend to pop up at some pretty predictable times. It's that classic new tank syndrome, for sure. But it also happens when a tank gets a little too crowded, or even right after you've done what you thought was a really helpful deep clean. So what is going on here? What's causing all this chaos? Well, the answer is an invisible culprit. It's a microscopic biological process that is the absolute foundation of any healthy aquarium. We are talking about the nitrogen cycle. The best way to think of it is as nature's own cleanup crew. See, inside your tank, there should be this whole ecosystem of beneficial bacteria working 24/7, breaking down toxic waste and turning it into something much, much safer for your fish. Okay, so let's walk through it real quick. Step 1, all the waste, fish waste, leftover food, it breaks down and produces highly toxic ammonia. That is bad news. Step 2, a special group of bacteria eats that ammonia and turns it into nitrite, which, by the way, is still really harmful. But then, in step 3, a different group of bacteria comes along, eats the nitrite, and converts it into the much safer nitrate. And that right there is a healthy cycle in action. It all sounds pretty perfect and self-sustaining, right? So what's the problem? Why does this completely natural process get thrown so off balance in our home aquariums?
Well, it really just boils down to this. Your bacterial cleanup crew gets overwhelmed. In a brand new tank, they just haven't had enough time to build up their numbers. If you add fish too fast or you overfeed, you're just dumping in waste faster than they can possibly process it. And this is a huge one. If you clean your filter media or your gravel too aggressively, you can literally wipe out the very colonies of bacteria you've been trying to grow. And this is the real turning point. When things go sideways, our first instinct is usually to grab a bottle of some chemical or do a giant water change. But honestly, those are just temporary fixes. The real long-term solution isn't about fighting the chemistry, it's about supporting the biology. Which brings us right to section 3, a living solution. We're talking about an approach that focuses on reinforcing the natural processes in your tank, not working against them. This quote from the source material just nails it. Instead of some chemical fix, what you're doing is adding reinforcements. These are specific, task-oriented bacteria designed to do one job really, really well. Get your aquarium's nitrogen cycle stable and keep it that way. Okay, so how does this actually work? I mean, how does just adding more bacteria solve all those headaches we were talking about? Well, it all comes down to a really clear 4-point strategy. It's a whole system approach. First, it directly supports ammonia processing, breaking down organic waste before it can even turn into those dangerous spikes. Second, it stabilizes the entire cycle, helping it bounce back after a disruption, like maybe a filter cleaning. Third, it helps you get a handle on that long-term nitrate buildup. And finally, all of this works together to make your entire aquarium just more resilient. This is honestly the best way to think about it. You're not replacing your tank's existing biology. You're not firing the crew that's already there. You're just giving them a boost by calling in skilled specialists, making the entire workforce stronger, more efficient, and way more effective. So, what's the payoff? What's the end result of all this? What does this better biology actually look and feel like in your tank every single day? The transformation is really what it's all about. You go from the stress of constant parameter swings and panicked emergency water changes to an aquarium that has real resilience. You get healthier, less stressed fish, and maybe most importantly, you get more confidence and stability as the owner. And at the end of the day, this is what it means for you. It means less time worrying and reacting. It means healthier fish and a healthier ecosystem.
It means fewer emergency maintenance sessions and more time to actually sit back and enjoy your hobby, knowing your tank is built on a solid, stable biological foundation. So, that's the question I want to leave you with. Think about your own tank for a second. Is its invisible biology thriving and working for you? Or is it struggling, creating that constant uphill battle? Because understanding that biology is the very first step to creating that stable, beautiful aquarium you've always wanted.